And I'll start recording in Audacity. It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 782. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Mike Smith. Thank you very much for downloading and subscribing to the show. Please visit the main website at miketechshow.com. You can email me questions and suggestions for show topics at miketechshow@gmail.com. You can leave me a voicemail message on Skype. The name is Mike Tech Show, all one word. Or, for a voicemail, hey, record an MP3. I haven't had any voicemails in a long time. Record an MP3, attach it to an email, and email me at miketechshow@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/MikeTechShow, and also facebook.com/MikeTechShow. This show is brought to you by Instant House Call, robust remote support for IT pros and MSPs, providing unattended and on-demand remote access. Try it free by clicking on the link on my website at miketechshow.com, or go right to instanthouseCall.com. Use the promo code MikeTechShow for your free 15-day trial. All right. I need to rearrange the screen here, so I paused the recording of the audio. Now I'm putting the chat at a better position to my left so I can kind of keep one eye on it. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to unpause. All right. Tonight's show, based on this week, obviously, just talking a little bit about the Outlook bug. I have to address ransomware. And then the main topic, Upnote review by listener Kate. I have a great email that I'm going to read and react to. So, Microsoft Outlook. And this happened, and again, it happened to a firm first. They were the first to contact me when there was another Outlook problem. I think it was over a year ago. The same type of issue that Microsoft, in their infinite wisdom of not testing properly, pushed an Office update that in Outlook, the update prevented people from reading all of their mail. It made it invisible. And when they typed, it looked like it was not typing, but it really was, but it was invisible. So this bug happened on Tuesday, and I was having dinner when I received an email from Jerry, a listener. And Jerry, I thank you. He was the first to let me know there's an issue, and oh, by the way, here's the fix. And I thought, okay, now I'm ready. 2 minutes after that, I get an email from an external email from a client where they went to their Gmail account and said, Mike, we're all having this Outlook problem. And they are CPAs. And of course, we're in the middle of tax season because May 17th is the new tax deadline for this year. And they are working round the clock, and everybody in the office, the 10 people, all with the same issue. And then my phone lights up with another client. So now I also get a text with a link to the Bleeping Computer article, which will be the first link in the show notes. And anybody that follows me on Facebook, I linked this article on Facebook as soon as I possibly could. So my son and I divided and conquered and applied the main fix, which was backing out and going to an older April update of Outlook. And you can go through the instructions. What I was glad to hear And this is thanks to Joe, who sent me the quote from Microsoft that they have found the problem and they were applying it, and it would all be done and pushed out to everyone by 3 a.m. I was like, okay, cool. So it wasn't so bad Wednesday morning where I thought, okay, we're going to be ready. We're just going to get killed. I was very happy where if you just restarted Outlook, your problem was fixed. So that was really nice. Glad Microsoft jumped on it so quickly. They're normally not that fast. Again, what is it with these pushing these out? And why are they pushing updates without the proper testing? I sound like a broken record saying that so many times. It's horrible. So we just got to deal with it. And our community is fantastic. The Mike Tech Show community. Thank you, everybody who, if you see an emergency like that and you have a chance and you can email me or text me or any way to let me know something like that. And as soon as I find something serious, I will post it on Facebook. You know, the tech that I post at Facebook is always something important. I don't waste that. Now, I do a lot of family posts and a lot of things that, but I will take the time for something serious and get it out there when there's a serious problem. So thank you, everybody, especially Jerry and Joe and my son for letting me know right away. So you would have to be living under a rock to not know about the ransomware attack on Colonial Pipeline, causing a shortage of gas up the East Coast. Now, it begins in Georgia and then goes all the way up. Here's the problem. Florida doesn't participate in that pipeline, yet we have panic buying and long gas lines here in Florida. We don't even use that gas. The gas comes in through the Gulf Coast, and on the other side, on the Atlantic, we do not participate in that pipeline. So we don't have a shortage, yet we've created a shortage. So thank you, everybody who in Florida who really doesn't need gas, and you're piling on and storing it up for no reason. So I needed to share that. Now, if you are in Georgia, North Carolina, and you're driving up, it was so bad yesterday where the lines were so long. And now I'm thinking, wait a second, not this weekend, the following weekend, I'm going to be driving back to Pennsylvania. I'm hoping that everybody calms down. The pipeline is now flowing. Well, here's what we don't have the details of exactly how the ransomware entered the corporate network and why the corporate network is connected that caused a problem in the pipeline. Shouldn't anything communicating with the pipeline be air-gapped and not be connected to the corporate network? Why is there no separation of that? How could any ransomware get in from the outside that would impact any kind of controls or anything for the pipeline? Well, certainly this opens up a can of worms that has to be explored. Now, remember, a few weeks ago, I did a show where a hacker tried to penetrate the water supply in my town, and I did a whole show dedicated to that because of a TeamViewer problem where someone hacked TeamViewer, and why is TeamViewer even there and connected to the outside? The lack of security in our infrastructure and critical services is alarming. Anybody in IT, we knew this because let's look at our typical clients. They don't want to spend any money on security. Well, this is definitely waking everybody up. I know it's waking up my clients. They've already contacted me and said, how are we with, with any ransomware? And I said, do not worry. We have 2 things in place for all of our clients. I have Malwarebytes Premium, and they're very good at their anti-ransomware. And I have Crypto Prevent. So these links will be in the show notes. And Crypto Prevent has kind of morphed. It started with more of a ransomware protection. It does that, but now it's more also of anti-malware. So having both of these in place, I have been very, very fortunate to not have a problem with clients. And personally, I also have the program Acronis and their malware and anti-ransomware. So between having the Malwarebytes Premium, having the Crypto Prevent, and then teaching my clients the following, which is a good checklist for how do you protect yourself against ransomware. Oh, I paused and I didn't. Okay. I'm going to repeat a couple things if you're watching the video. So here's a list of how do you protect yourself against ransomware. Download a proven anti-ransomware tool with real-time protection, such as Malwarebytes Premium and Crypto Prevent, which I talked about, and they're going to be linked into the show notes. Protect your Wi-Fi with an encrypted password. Never use an open Wi-Fi. Use WPA, WPA2 encryption standard on your home Wi-Fi. Do not use web encryption. It's not secure. Here's the big one. Backup important files to a local hard drive or an online backup service. Having a backup, if your files are all encrypted, you will be able to recover all of your data. Do not open emails from people or companies you do not know. This is the tough one. And this is how you have to communicate this to your clients. Don't open it. Just don't open it. It comes in via email most of the time. I'm gonna go over one other item that wasn't on this list that I pulled off the internet, and I'm kind of adjusting it. Do not click on links sent to you via email or IM without first hovering your pointer over the link to confirm it is sending you to a legitimate site. That's right. Even if it's from a bank and it looks good and it's from your ABC bank and you need to click on something, take a look, hover over that. Does that website make sense? And if it doesn't, delete the email and go directly to the site and then log in. Here's my final item in this list. No RDP, the Remote Desktop Protocol, is a known pipeline of ransomware. Do not have RDP running unless you're doing this over an encrypted tunnel or it's RDP wrapped around another service. You don't want 3389 exposed and any of those 33XX, whatever, in a firewall that's forwarding back to a computer. Don't do it. You will experience a ransomware infection. It's going to happen because the ransomware is pinging every IP address, and looking for those ports to be open and then looking for that exploit. And RDP is a terribly insecure protocol. All right. The rest of the show is at one email on the program Upnote. And the link is getupnote.com. And this is from Kate. And I'm going to read this and I'm going to pause and react to a lot of her comments. Hi, Mike. A few weeks ago, I forwarded some information on Upnote, an app that is getting some buzz as a possible Evernote replacement. I've been trying it out as a possible Evernote replacement, and while it shows promise, it's not there yet, and I have not been able to leave Evernote behind. I'm an Evernote premium subscriber, which I am also. I use Evernote chiefly on my production Windows 10 desktop and almost as much on my Android phone, less frequently since I retired. I use it on my Windows 10 laptop, and every so often I have to get it from the web version on my husband's computer or a friend's computer. I've been using Evernote in whatever is its current form since you first mentioned it on a podcast years ago. I know I was one of the early adopters and users of Evernote, and I talked about that many years ago. In those days, we were all putting out Evernote onto a 2 gig USB stick and hauling it from machine to machine after walking barefoot uphill in the snow while wearing only our pajamas. Okay. Ooh. Sorry about that. Now let me unpause the audio. Over time, Evernote has evolved from a slim, portable app to a huge furball of an app that is slow to open. Its current home screen belongs in the human interface hall of shame. It's a total disaster. On the bright side, I have found a way to make Evernote open to the screen that it used to open to. So I don't have to wake up every morning and hate the new home screen. Yay me. Now, I still am beholden to the older version of Evernote. I won't upgrade because I don't like the new versions and the new updates. I stay with their legacy version, which thank God is still available and still works and still supported. That's what I use. Now, Kate continues, on Windows, Upnote has a clean, maybe even sparse look, like Evernote used to. There is a lot to like about that. It's customizable to an extent. You can have a darker light theme. You can customize the cover of each notebook. Oh, I like that. So I put a picture of my bike on the cover of the notebook called Bike. Nice. The note area itself is pretty much like Evernote and every other note-taking app these days. You can use text, formatted text, and even Markdown. I don't need that, so I have no idea if that's good or bad. You can drag a JPEG into a note or navigate with File Explorer to a photo on the computer. Like the new versions of Evernote, Upnote syncs automatically and instantly. You don't have to tell it to sync. And in fact, I don't believe there is any way to tell it. It just does it. You should also know, if you're on a tear about Google, that you might not want Upnote. Here is an item from their FAQ. How does Upnote store my data? Upnote is designed to work reliably without having to sign up for an account. If you do not log in, your notes only stay locally in your drive. If you want to sync your notes across all devices, you can sign up for an account, and Upnote will store your notes on a central server so that the notes can be synced to other devices. You have total control of your data, and we would never access your data or sell your data to a third party. For more information on the data privacy, there's a link. Where is Upnote server? Is it secured? Upnote is storing data on Firebase, which is part of Google. It's a server, and Firebase platform has been certified under major privacy and security standards. I'm not going to continue reading their note, but if you're trying to de-Google yourself, this is not an answer because Google is hosting this data. Kate continues, there's another item about not being able to sync to iCloud. Again, I have no use for iCloud, so I don't know if that's a deal breaker or not. There are several reasons why I'm not going to abandon Evernote just yet. First, I have Evernote everywhere. I have an Evernote extension in my Gmail. I have the web clipper in both my main browsers on all my machines. I use the web clipper a lot. Yes, I could absolutely copy and paste into an Upnote note. Is it as easy and convenient as the Evernote web clipper? No, it is not. So I'm going to stop right there. I have to have that. As a matter of fact, and she's going to get into one of the deal breakers for me, it has to integrate completely with Outlook because there are many things I get from clients that I want to store in the proper client notebook within Evernote. And I want those emails. I want to click on that send to Evernote and it pops up and it asks for, I drop down, pick my client and sends it. Second, its handling of PDFs is inelegant. Evernote displays the PDF. Upnote displays a link. Again, that's probably not a huge deal if you aren't used to Evernote, but it's a large inconvenience when you have a lot of PDF as notes. And she continues, I do, and I do also. Third, let's talk about importing your Evernotes into Upnote. You need to have Upnote Premium to do this. What? Why wouldn't they let you import your notes for free as an enticement to use Upnote? Can't answer that one. But okay, I got Premium Upnote and decided to test the import. 3 words. Mike, don't do it. I have just over 1,000 notes. Not as many notes as you, but a significant number of notes. And I'm faithful about culling notes I no longer need. At one point in my life, I had a couple dozen notebooks and close to 6,000 notes. Believe me, 1,000 notes is an achievement. Fortunately, I didn't try to import all my notes. I selected one notebook which had about 150 notes to import. I chose that notebook because it only had 150 notes. But the notes were different types. Some were web clippings, some were notes I just typed into the app. I also had some PDFs and some JPEGs with and without text in the same note. It took a reasonable amount of time and it did import those notes, but it didn't import them into the right notebook. It just put them in the general box and called them uncharacterized. So I needed to select all of those notes and drag them into the right notebook, and quite a few of them look weird. Maybe there's a better way to do this, but holy guacamole, the documentation for this app is a train wreck. As in, there isn't much of it. Most of what there is either incomplete or flat out wrong, and the rest is out of date. So is there a better way to do this? Beats me, but I'm not about to import each and every notebook one at a time and then sort the notes into corresponding Upnote notebooks. Because come on, Kate, it's that paragraph right there. There's no thank you. There's no way I'm going to try this. Wow. This brings us to another couple of intertwined problems. Evernote tags are great, and I use tags a lot. I'm more throw things into a shoebox and tag them at the time and sort them into notebooks later than I am hierarchical. Nested notebook structure is essential, and I always put things where they belong the first time. Plus, Evernote has a robust search function, which Upnote only dreams about. I know this isn't a problem for everyone. It's a problem for me. And my guess is between the scary, weird import function and the lack of tags, it would be a problem for you too. So now let's talk about Android. In spite of all the documentation I could find that states it only works on Macs and iOS devices, this app works on Windows 10 and Android phones and presumable tablets too. But can you upgrade to premium from your main computer where you happen to do most of your work? No. You can do it from your Android phone, sign out of the app on all your devices, and sign back in on all your devices. Okay, that is definitely one way to handle things, but there's room for improvement. In any case, the app is very much the same on Android. It's clutter-free. You can have a light or dark theme, and the notebook cover customizations work there too. It syncs with the Google thing automatically eventually, or you can swipe to refresh and get immediate gratification. That might just be my crappy telco cell service. Bottom line, not a bad starter note-taking app on any device. Reasonably priced, has potential to do some more things and to do things more elegantly. Pretty darn good if you're not used to all the Evernote has to offer. But currently, I can't use it to replace Evernote in my life. And I have really simplified my life. I think for you, it would be a living hell. Did I mention there's no Outlook integration? All the best, Kate. That is awesome, Kate. Thank you for that in-depth review of Upnote. You've saved me a lot of pain and suffering of trying that app, which I was going to try it, and then when I read that email from you, and it was the last line, when I finished reading, I was like, oh man, no Outlook integration? That's it. That's, forget it. No proper import. You've highlighted so many things. So to everybody listening, take heed to all that Kate stated. If you're just starting out and you're not migrating from another note app, hey, give it a try. You can start organizing it and using it. And if you don't need Outlook integration, I have to have Outlook. Any app that I'm going to use has to have complete Outlook integration and web. I do web clippings all the time. I build the show notes for every Mike Tech show in Evernote. When I run into something during the week or something, I was like, ooh, let me file that for a client, but let me make some changes and file that to the next Mike Tech show or maybe the one after. There were weeks a month ago where I was compiling information for show notes for the next 3 shows. I would title each show by their number. This is show 782. Now, I don't have any notes for 783 or 784, but there are times where I have 3 or 4 even, sets of show notes, and I'm putting them together. But that's just too much. There's just too much negative for that, for me to go through that. So it's not good for me, but it might be good for you. So thank you, Kate, again for that review. I love it. hey, if anybody gets a review, if there's a product or a piece of hardware or something, yeah, record it, do a voice memo, record something, an MP3 or Skype, leave me a voicemail message at Mike Tech Show on Skype, and I will integrate it into a future show. If you are purchasing anything from Amazon, I live on Amazon. I buy everything from Amazon. Use the link that Carrie Holzman and me share. We split an Amazon affiliate link. It's in the show notes. It's a short link at MikeNation.net. Take that link, bookmark it in your browser, and anytime you go to Amazon, use that link. A small commission comes back to support the shows. It supports Tech Vets, the Mike Tech Show, Carrie's videos, everything we do. That is the best way to support us, and we really appreciate you using our link. Thank you very, very much. I have the Fabs Auto Backup 7 Pro, a link where you can purchase that. That is the software that we use all the time for transferring data and settings from one system to another. Cannot live without it. And of course, thank you to our sponsor, Instant House Call, for all your remote support needs. If you are an MSP, an IT professional, this is your go-to remote access software. That is it for tonight's show. Hope to be back next week. It's kind of iffy because of my schedule, so keep in touch via Facebook and Twitter, and I will let you know. It's sort of like 50-50 on a show. So let's see how it goes. Now it's like getting really busy as we start to get ready to head back to Pennsylvania. And just so you know, I have the mic stand, another Shure SM58 mic, and the exact mixer I'm using waiting for me in boxes in Pennsylvania. So the first show from Pennsylvania will be the exact same equipment. I even got the same camera. Everything will look the same except my background. And I want to maintain the audio and video quality that I've been generating down here in Florida. And your feedback has been phenomenal for that. So I thank you. Hope to see you next week. Thank you for staying subscribed. Bye-bye, everybody.